Hey guys, welcome back to the Engineered Stitch. Today we are going to be turning this book into a dress. I'm reading this book for an English class, and for my final, I could write a really long essay or I could make a creative project. So obviously I decided to make a Piranesi themed dress in one day. This is a super ambitious project, but I really needed a fun project to get me through final studying. But the book is essentially about a person who's trapped in a place called the house. And it's like this large marbled labyrinth with tides, statues, and a couple of other people. The main character, Piranesi, is basically trying to remember who he actually is, even though he's being manipulated by other characters. I could go on and on about the themes of the book, but for my vision for the dress, I wanted it to be blue and strapless and have elements of the book painted onto it. And then I want the tides, the statues, and all the quotes and messages that Piranesi has inside the house to be depicted. And then I also wanted a map of the world to be peeking out from under the dress just because of how it overlays with the world. And then I also wanted to add a 3D sort of element with like marbled paper mache arms reaching out and around the top of the dress, because it kind of symbolizes how the house and the statues and how that world will always have a hold on Piranesi even after he exits and joins the real world again. So these are the materials that I'm starting with. Some of them are leftover fabrics because I am a broke college student, but here I'm just cutting and pinning some of these fabrics to make a circle skirt and also to make a bodice and some straps for the dress. And then here I'm just taking my tool and I took that world printed fabric and I pinned it to the edge of the tool before I gathered all of that tool together so that I can get this like full volume for underneath the skirt while having that world themed fabric peeking out from underneath the hemline of the skirt. Here's that sewing, but yeah. And then I got on to drawing on all of the elements I wanted for the dress. This was a lot of columns for the statues, quotes from the book, an octopus and albatross, because those are some of the living things that were in the book that were kind of my favorite. But yeah, and then I also started drawing onto the bodice as well to be able to get some of the statues, such as the fawn on there. And here is what it kind of looks like. There's the tides, some columns, these foggy clouds, and yeah, all drawn onto this fabric. It's super subtle, but it's definitely there. And then here's what the bodice is looking like. It has the fawn, this journal, and a quote from the book. And then basically here I'm sewing together that overlay skirt and then the tulle underlayer so that I can get those two layers with volume together. I kind of messed up here a little bit and the waistband was kind of strange because of the tulle layer, but we made it work. And then here's the bodice and what it kind of looks like. And then the skirt, as you can see, the waistline is a little strange, but we make it work. This is not about perfection. We're trying to get this done in one day. But yeah. And then here I'm just pinning the two sides of that dress together, the bodice and then the skirt, before I sew that all together and then try to figure out how I'm going to close it up. But yeah, I'm just sewing this panel on, and I think I'm going to do sort of like a lace-up closure on the back, and then I'm going to add in some snaps to be able to close this back of the dress right here. I just found these at my school makerspace and they worked really well, but yeah. And then here I'm adding in a couple of loops for the back of the dress so that I can be able to thread it and lace it up in the back. This was super humbling because I decided to hand sew it, and I've not hand sewn in years since I've gotten a sewing machine. But yeah, super duper humbling, but it took me a minute and I was able to get all of those little attachment tabs all sewn on, and then I was able to thread like this black cord that I also found at my school makerspace through it to be able to create this kind of lace-up back that you can kind of see here. And then I went on to make these marbled arms, which look really questionable at first, but trust the process. It all comes together in the end. So this is the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video and this montage of photos that I included with my English project. But I hope you guys have an amazing time. Good luck with finals, and like and subscribe for more engineering fashion related content.